I got my Walter smile on this morning. It's Tuesday, the 6th day of 2026. 359 shopping days until Christmas. I'm thinking while this past Christmas is still fresh in my head, if I make a list of people that I want to shop for now, prioritize that list to include something that person would like to have with a stipulation in my head, something I could use in case I remove them from my list before next Christmas. I could be done probably by June with my entire shopping list. That way, I would have an entire 6 months until Christmas with only my concerns, and they would be deciding what to cook and for how many people. The odd things that go through this confused little mind when I'm just hanging out. You're looking very confused yourself.
That's an understatement.
Good morning, I'm Rayford Brown. And you wonder what makes me tick.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barrows. And I'm thinking this is going to be a long year.
That was kind of good.
Long year.
Well, we're already 6 days into it. But dang, we're on our way.
I've got my.
59 days to Christmas.
I've got mine. Bunch of empty boxes.
Well, I would have, but except I cut them up in little pieces and put them in the trash can, those that I did not save to start a fire with.
We haven't heard you talk about having a fireplace going. Have you had it
I
going?
have not, because it doesn't stay when you start when the season comes on. It's going to be cold.
Right.
When it's cold for a day or two, and you get that fire going, and then all of a sudden it turns warm. Bad things happen when there's very warm air outside. There's stuff that comes, and then the smell comes back inside, down the chimney, through the house, and it's a waste. Trying to get those walls warm and keep them warm is great when it stays cold. Right. It's like now. It's going to be what, 65 degrees or something today for the rest of this week?
Yes.
When it gets down and it stays down, then, when it's going to stay cold for a week or two or three.
70 today.
Oh, anyway. Y'all doing okay?
Yeah. Be a good day for golf.
Yeah. If you like to hit something.
You do not have time for that.
Don't take your caddy with you, though.
She's not playing for a while.
She might fall down.
Yeah.
While she's trying to beat a squirrel to death with a golf club. Shooting squirrels is taking on a new meaning with her.
Yes, it has.
She hits that ball and aims for the squirrels.
Squirrel.
Incoming.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. First thing I thought of. Portals.
Former owner of Tie-Line Marine, Bill Tarpley.
Yeah.
Bill.
I remember Bill.
Bill's a big hunter, and his wife Debbie. She was a precious lady, but she was in there, and she started talking about one time a squirrel, and I said, "Oh, this is too good." And I used to carry, instead of a phone with a recorder on it, I've got a little pocket digital recorder, and I carried it with me in case some people got dumb or interesting. So she started to talk about this story, and I played the story somewhere. I've got the audio of that. They came home one night, late at night, and suddenly running through the house was a critter, and she didn't know what it was. And their little dog was a little sausage dog, wiener dog.
Yeah.
And his name was Hot Dog, and he was just chasing that, what it turned out to be a squirrel, all over the place. She was standing on top of a table or footstool or whatever it was and hollering at Bill, "Get your gun, get your gun." A squirrel, they think it may have come in through the fireplace, through the chimney.
Yeah.
Which it could. If there's no fire down there, so if there's a fire there, it's not a problem. You cook and eat right then. But the way she went on about it, trying not to laugh, but laughing and holding the recorder away so she couldn't see it and it didn't pick me up. It was hilarious, her story. So I played that on the air one morning years ago. It was cute. But y'all got, what we're talking about is Chris's, one of his other two better halves. Was this Kathy
or Kathy.
Samantha?
No, it's Kathy.
Samantha.
No, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
It's Kathy.
Yeah, the other one.
It's Kathy.
Maybe there's three of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stephanie she wasn't there, right?
No.
Okay, so good. So Kathy got hurt.
Yeah, she slipped on some frost on the back step.
What time?
5 a.m.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
like 2 hours before dawn.
2 hours before
Going
our
to
show
feed them.
yesterday. Yeah.
And so she slipped on some ice and she break her head or something.
No, she's got a hairline fracture and compressed bones in her left wrist. That's what's causing the
So
surgery.
the fracture was not that big a deal.
Factory? No, because I saw it on the
That
X-ray.
will heal up.
Yeah, I said, look,
I
it's
didn't know
right
about
there.
that compressed.
Looks like a wishbone. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was the compressed bones that they're going to have to do
Yeah.
surgery to kind of move her wrist back this way.
Does she want it to look a little different? I mean, you should get it done now while she's at it.
She didn't want it done by me.
You offered.
Of course.
Ooh.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Is that when you hit her or when she hit you?
That's nuts. That's nuts. Squirrels don't need them at that time of the morning.
No, they don't. You know,
Kathy.
She's good.
she's
has a good
got an
heart.
early start. She
Sleeping.
didn't want to scare the squirrels off.
Yeah, but you can't see the bears out there either.
You got bears in your yard?
We've got them in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what bears usually hang out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes they come up.
No, the deer come out.
Deer.
Yeah. We feed the deer too, but not at 5 o'clock in the
You've
morning.
just never seen the bear.
Oh, I've seen the bear. I let him keep going.
They're more afraid of you than you are of them. That's what I've heard.
Bless her heart.
I bet you'll be all
She's
right
resting.
See a surgeon on Thursday.
there. Oh, can schedule it by phone?
I know. Drive down to Wilmington.
What's this? Don't you have a teledoc thing? They do things like that.
Go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, because the surgeon's in Wilmington.
That's
We
what
have one here in Jacksonville.
I know, but this one is the
real
the
cut-ups are
one.
there.
So the one
I
here
love my
does backs and knees, and the one in Wilmington does
Yeah.
wrists and
They're
elbows,
specialized.
shoulders.
A bone is a bone.
Now, there's one of them that does only the thumbs, and the other one
Mhm.
does the
The
forefinger.
pinkies.
And then the guy from New York does the third finger, the middle one.
There's some that do the noses, right? Oh, no, that's the wrong doctor.
Okay, what you guys up to today? I'm still asking the
my
questions.
gosh.
And what do y'all think about the Maduro
A
thing and
lot.
Venezuelan? It's not an invasion. It was as Robin put it yesterday. It was a targeted attack.
It was not a
surgical
declaration of war.
Surgical strike. No, we
Right.
didn't go in as under wartime powers or anything else. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on. I looked at some of the coverage of that Mr. and Mrs. event yesterday. They appeared their first appearance
Yes.
in a
Federal
court there in
court.
New York, but obviously they don't have cameras in the courtroom, doggone it, because apparently this dude, defiant as
Yes.
you would expect him to be, he's an illegal. He's not the legal leader of Venezuela. He's not the legal president. He lost years ago, but he just wouldn't leave. He lost the election, but he would not leave. So he hasn't lost any elections since then, but he could not run because he wasn't the legal president in the first place. But yesterday he tried to take control of the proceedings at a U.S. federal court, and a judge not going to have a thing to do with that one. He was there to hear the charges read to him formally. That's what the judge told him. You're not here to put on a defense. You're not. We don't really care about what you're saying. In other words, you're here to let me tell you what you're charged with, and that's it. The judge told him he would have time at future court proceedings, because there are going to be a bunch of them,
Oh, yes.
to offer some sort of a defense whenever they come up with one. What he should have been reminded of by his attorney, but his attorney didn't say much, should have been reminded, listen, doofus, anything you say in here right now, they can use it against you. So keep talking. You're going to make my job really easy, because all I can do is plead you stupid.
I personally side with Latvia
Uh-huh.
with their comments. It needed to be done.
Oh, it had to be done.
They were short and
Well,
sweet.
At some point
The
in time,
United
it had to,
Nations. Yeah.
had to be done. And, you know, how many people we had clicking on now? Last night, it was like 66,000 people on that
69,000 last
little
time.
post that I did Saturday night.
Oh, think about it. you're talking about him being in court yesterday. Here's a 25-page indictment.
Yeah,
Now,
that's what.
does the left want to argue that none of that is real?
No, they
That
can.
there's
They
no
can argue with
reason?
it.
They have
I
gone,
don't think they understand what the charges are for and why they were
they've gone
brought.
insane.
What the whole field is about. Yeah, we know that Venezuela traffics a lot of cocaine through their shores, up from Colombia and wherever into Venezuela, and Venezuela's got a fleet of boats sanctioned by the government that are running the dope up to the United States. They've been
Right.
doing it for years and years and years and years and years. We've caught a bunch of them in the past. Now we're not catching them. We're just killing them, blowing up their boats. And so far, about 100 of those boat drivers are no longer with us. Okay. There are the one post that popped up yesterday in response to all of this that lady was replying to some other lady who was talking about good riddance type thing and said, cocaine is not the reason that people die from overdoses. Well, yes, it is, lady, as I pointed out to her in a response. I try not to respond and get into a bickering contest with people that don't know what they're talking about, but I did.
Right.
I did. And I said, yeah, it people. And she countered. Well, I'll have to admit, yeah, it kills, but only 10%. Oh, see, 10% of 110,000 people who die of overdoses in this country every year, 10% comes out to be, let me think, 11,000 Americans. Most of those people are young people.
Just following X and some of the other news stories, some of the comments, you can tell people had no clue what they're even talking about.
People who post things like that, it's only cocaine.
And I would say
are
that
they coke freaks or what?
Well, I would say that even covers some of our congressional delegates.
Oh, absolutely. We
Some
know.
of the stupidity they have come out with.
That if we could get a congressman, a former congressman, to actually tell the real story
Right.
about what happens with some of those new freshman Congress people that show up,
Yeah.
their partying ain't with cocktails.
I was like, Chris, don't tell anybody, but I just got word we're getting ready to go in and kidnap Maduro. Don't tell anybody, though.
Yeah. Shh. Don't tell anybody else.
I won't.
Rayford. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
Maduro's
it's
attorney for he and his wife did not request bond. She's about guilty too, by the way, of everything. She's
not according to him.
she's
She's
as dirty
not
as
guilty.
he is.
She's innocent.
Their attorney did not request bond. Not that it would have been granted,
Right.
but he didn't request it, so didn't waste his time there. Then came the UN Security
Oh my gosh,
Council.
Rayford.
meeting yesterday.
I was like,
What a waste of time.
that was a waste of time. That was and that Columbia University from the United States, their president,
That one, yeah.
a professor that was up there giving his spill about how wrong we were and blah blah. I just wanted
Bless
to
your
tell,
heart.
why don't you pack your bags and take off?
Why don't you
Get out of the country if you hate us so bad.
He belongs with those 7 people that were on Highway 17 Sunday afternoon. He
Yeah.
belongs with them, flying the flag it
Don't
upside
start
down.
with me on the flag.
I know. It burned me up too, but he belonged with those. I'm sorry, they were idiots.
There it is.
And when they were interviewed, they showed their idiocy.
They had no clue. They asked that one gentleman, and he was just like had no clue why he was
the
even
problem
there. I'm
with
like,
dealing with people like that, and you try to have
For
a battle
sure.
with them,
battle of the wits.
a battle of wits with people like that who have come unarmed is a sad case every time. When unfortunately I've stooped to their levels, and they get me going, and I will get into this battle, but they don't have any wits about them. They left all that in a battle. They don't have any armament whatsoever.
Well, I think
It's scary.
the gentleman, Buddy Hobbs, who's known in this area,
Yeah.
and they interviewed him after he goes, I don't understand them. He goes, this person is killing people in our own country.
Yes, he is.
Right.
What did they not understand?
Right, let's go back to Steve's Ferry. A few years
Good,
ago,
yeah.
do you remember the lady? And I can't. Pantene, was it?
Oh,
And
yes.
the boy. I interviewed the mother
Oh,
who found her son dead.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jody,
he
I
was
think
he
that
was a
Jody.
star in high school in the Dixon School.
Yes.
He was
yes.
an athlete, a star player,
Mhm.
smart as a whistle, never got into trouble, did not have any issues, and he gets out of school and he gets hooked up. At that time, we probably should have put a fence across US 17 to stop all traffic coming from New Hanover County
Right.
and searched every vehicle coming into Onslow County because that's where it was coming from.
Yeah.
It was coming into New Hanover from various locations. Robin was talking yesterday about a drug operation that involved New Hanover County deputies because it all, and Onslow deputies and everything else. And we had deputy sheriffs from this area from 2 counties that I know of down in Florida working, Tampa, and I think they ended up in Miami as well. But there was a huge case there involving them. We had the case up, and I mentioned it again yesterday, over in Morehead City that started Noriega investigation. They gave him teeth. They gave him information. The U.S. attorney, Doug McCullough, I could not remember his name. Doug McCullough was the U.S. attorney at the time for the area, for the district. And he helped lead that investigation. The book that I've mentioned, you put on our Facebook page yesterday,
Yeah.
Sea of Greed, SEA of
Sea
Greed,
of
written by
Greed,
Doug
yeah.
McCullough. He became a federal judge. He's retired now. He moved to the Carteret County area. He was living, I think, in Atlantic Beach the last time I talked with him. I had him on the air, and we had a good friend of mine, Terry Peters, FBI, some DEA guys, a bunch of DEA guys, and they all got involved in that thing and tracked a load of dope, several loads of dope that ended up in Carteret County, right straight to Noriega. Yes, that stuff is coming into our area here in Eastern North Carolina. The tons and tons of pot. Tons of pot. Y'all want to see the pictures again? I'll be glad to show them to you. Boats laden with pot that came straight from Colombia here. Now the dope is going through because Colombia doesn't run as many boats as they used to. It's easier to pay those idiots in Venezuela because they got fast little boats. They used to run shrimp boats, 30, 40, 50 footers, and bring the fishing boats, not shrimp boats, but fishing boats. And so they could carry a big load. They used to come into docks here in Eastern North Carolina. Then they started calling them motherships, and they'd hang out offshore, and they became the mothership, and all the little boats would make the 30, 40, 50-mile run out to them, pick up what they were agreeing to buy, and bring it ashore.
Yeah.
Y'all need Google the name Wade Bailey, Bailey. He's from Rachel Beach. I don't know whether he's still breathing air or not, but he got caught. He rolled over. And then he was aboard a boat that came ashore with a lot of dope on it because he was a skipper. He was a Rachel Beach guy. And of course, he walked but he had to be so popular. Matter of fact, there was a T-shirt put out at Rachel Beach because he liked to party at Rachel Beach. After it became known that he was the one that rolled over, he got all this dope done. The T-shirt said, "Don't shoot, I'm not Wade Bailey," because he was a targeted individual. This dope business involves a lot of dope people, and they kill people.
It has over the years gotten so far out of hand. It's taken so many lives.
They kill people.
It's caused so much destruction. And we did what we had to do.
We did what we should have done, but we should have done it years and years and years ago when he came into power. What was it, about 2004, 5, 6, something like that? Mm-hmm. So he's been building an empire since then, a dope empire.
But he's a decent guy. That's what he said yesterday in federal court. I'm a decent guy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of them say things like that.
70,537, Rayford.
Well, good. The UN Security Council yesterday, that was a waste of my time for the short time that I did watch it.
An hour was all I could do.
The woman from Colombia She was there, and she said pretty much the same words that the head honcho there in Columbia said. If you boys come down here with your guns and try to come into my country, I will meet you with guns. Your BB guns versus our howitzers. Go for it.
Yeah, that was a really ignorant statement on her part.
That was a challenge. If you want to know the truth,
I was laughing.
I would not have issued that challenge, not to this president.
You know, it was like they would go person to person, and this person was understanding behind what the United States said.
Yeah.
Then they go to the next person. No, United States should have never. It was just a waste of time. Waste of time. I mean, can we move on?
You're not when you have people like the Pennsylvania representative Smith Wade L. He's a newbie, and he's trying to say that what happened in Venezuela was similar to what happened in Iran and Iraq, where we made those mistakes. That's what he compared it to. Iran and
that one. We went in after a crook that was dealing dope into our country, smuggling it into our country, killing our people. Okay?
Yep.
By the thousands, 110,000 a year. Every year. That's how many people die of overdoses in this country. We don't manufacture that stuff here. It has to come in from somewhere else.
But that's what his comment was. He's an idiot. I'm sorry for my Democratic friends that are listening, but he's an idiot. He doesn't.
Yeah. There was a lot of that displayed yesterday. Just listening to some of the speeches, and some of these representatives and senators couldn't wait to get on camera just to make fools out of themselves. I would have been embarrassed. I would have just.
If y'all just want to see something else, if you go through and you can find it on any of a lot of the news channels. This oil stuff, everybody says it's all about the oil. It's, that's part of what is going on. That's going to be a byproduct of taking out a crook, because the oil that they're doing, we set up a blockade on their oil because we don't want them supplying oil to Iran, our mortal enemy, and to other countries, our mortal enemies as well. But they've been doing it. So we set up a blockade. Do you know yesterday, over the weekend? They
tried yesterday to run it.
Since Saturday, right after all this mess went down, they had 16 tankers. 16 tankers. Some of them were not loaded with anything. They were just there to draw the attention away. 16 tankers left Venezuela. 16. A bunch of them loaded with that crude oil.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was yesterday. We came out with news yesterday morning that there was a group that were going to try to run the blockade. I'm like, giddy up. Come on.
They ran it. Yeah. They got away. They're out there, and they went out. They didn't come straight up and towards the Caribbean area. They didn't continue up through there. They went up and right, and they went east and then northeast and then up that direction. They did not want to run an entire blockade again, because that would have been pretty bad. Now, here's the thing. People say, well, why didn't you just do with them what you did with the dope dealers? Because they're loaded with crude oil. Do you have any idea, any clue whatsoever of the environmental damage that would have created if we put a hole into one of those tankers with hundreds of thousands of gallons of crude oil? You think the Exxon Valdez was bad? It had 250,000 gallons of crude oil on it. Can you imagine 1 million gallons of crude oil from one tanker? We would be cleaning up for the rest of my life, yours, and our grandchildren. We got to call her?
It's Jennifer, but Slugger wanted me to let you know she's listening to you.
Hey, Slugger, I didn't say anything.
I don't know why the scarecrow tried to cross the road, Kathy.
What?
Prove to the chicken that it could be done. I mean, to the possum that it could be done.
She's telling a joke. And Tracy, be careful on your way to Austin this morning.
Austin what?
Tracy, she's on her way to Austin this morning for PAC meetings.
Whatever.
Yes.
Jennifer, were you on your way anywhere, Jennifer, this morning?
I am sitting here on the couch with a cat on my lap and a cup of coffee. I'm not going nowhere for the time being.
Well, I don't blame you.
This cat just turned around and looked at me like, no, you are not.
No, I have made since December 23rd, I was out shopping December 23rd to get a bunch of stuff to cook for December 24th, right? So that was the last time I went out until Saturday, and I went out to a club meeting. It was right at 2.1 miles to the meeting place and 2.1 miles back. That's all I've driven since December 23rd.
Well, we have
It felt
been
good.
out and about, but I have one of our cats. He's our senior cat, and it's almost a ritual with him. I have my coffee in the morning, sit down on the couch, and he gets up on my lap. And if I get up and don't sit down, he'll come over and stand and just sit there and stare at me like, "Come on, lady, get on the couch." But anywho, I wanted to weigh in on Mr. Walls up there in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. We're going to get to him.
A name to soon be forgotten.
Well, what struck me was the clip, that they, when he was announcing that he would not seek re-election, and one phrase that he said just really stuck in my craw, as my mama used to say. He said, "Every minute that I spend defending myself is time that I can't do." I'm not going to. I can't quote him correctly, but that was the gist of it.
Well, wait a minute. What was he doing when he was running for VP?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I was being
kept
paid by
thinking
the citizens
back
of Minnesota.
to Trump's first term.
Mm-hmm.
How much time he spent defending himself, impeachments and everything else.
And he's still
And yet they say, well, why didn't he do it in his first term? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Well, refer back to Tim Walz's statement. Every minute he had to spend defending himself was, and I'm just saying it struck me as, first of all, if he wasn't guilty in all of that fraud up in Minnesota, he would not be stepping back.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of charges yet to come.
Yeah,
He's done.
He may face a prison time.
He is cooked. And as far as Maduro, I cannot believe that we have elected officials that are so speaking out both sides of their mouth that they're going to condone. Biden puts $20 million bounty or whatever on the man's head, doesn't go get him. Kamala is the border czar and says, it's not that we need to build a wall. We need to find these other countries. We need to find out what's causing this mass migration. All of this stuff, Trump goes over there, gets the man. People's wanting to go back to Venezuela. So that's solved. That we saved the 20 whatever million for the bounty, and they're still going to say, we can't do that. We can't. Everything that they preach that Trump was a king and a dictator and didn't win a fair election is what this cat did. And now we've got him, and they think that it's fine.
Yep.
I don't understand it to save my ever-loving life.
Well, I Jennifer, I can give you a little tip on why. They don't remember Truman. They don't remember Eisenhower. They don't remember JFK. They don't remember Johnson. They don't remember Nixon. They don't remember Bush and Clinton. They choose who they want, what they want to remember.
It's all because it's Donald Trump.
Yep.
If this had happened 2 years ago, it would have been perfectly fine. And the minions out there on the street that are protesting, the same ones that have their nice, all mass-produced signs, all of that kind of stuff, the only thing they know is what their elected officials are telling them. They're believing everything that they're spewing. oh, this was wrong. This was should have gone through Congress. This is an act of war. Blah blah blah. And that's all they know. They don't know to do their own research, and so then they get out on the street and start protesting, and just causes more and more upheaval. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. I am not, as Forrest Gump would say, I am not a smart person. I don't claim to be. I don't have any initials after my name. But good God, I've got a little bit of common sense. As Mama said, I might be crazy, but I ain't stupid. I don't understand it. It just makes absolutely no sense. I read some of those comments yesterday. Somebody said, oh, well, if it was just about the drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm thinking, people. But anywho, that's just my rant. I'll get on back to my coffee. Let somebody else call in and rant about it.
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jennifer. Have a blessed day.
You too.
910-333-0139 if you want to rant or just talk about
Just give us a
things.
call. I want to talk a little bit more about this, a lot more about it, but I'll try to keep it to a little bit here shortly. But I'm going to talk about something that occurred in 1823 that relates to this. And Donald Trump talked about it too this week when he was talking about the whole process and the thing that went down. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. But it's kind of looking good right now this morning. If you want to go fishing for a near shore run, don't go too far. By the afternoon, small craft advisory will go into effect and remain that way through Wednesday afternoon. Today, offshore northwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20 with gusts up to 25 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Building to 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Near shore seas 2 to 3. Sounds and rivers are flat, becoming choppy in the afternoon. Wednesday, westerly winds 15 to 20, diminishing to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. 4 to 6 footers every 7 seconds tomorrow. Going to be kind of sloppy. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop by afternoon. Thursday, good offshore conditions return. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10. 2 to 3 footers, sounds and rivers, a light chop.
And before I go any further, last week we had a visitor in our studio, Zoe.
Yes, we
She's
do.
a young ham operator. I want to, on behalf of all
She's
of
a
us,
hamlet.
wish her a very happy 15th birthday
My
today.
God,
Happy
she's
birthday,
15?
Zoe. Yeah.
When I met her, she was 14
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just, that was,
last week.
When I met her, she was 13.
that was a year ago. That was last year, Chris. Okay.
Well, it was actually day before
Anyway,
yesterday or
yeah.
yesterday.
No, that
For
was,
me.
She was 14 year before, day before yesterday.
well, let's not make this complicated.
I
Okay.
was trying to make it easy for you. Yes, go ahead.
I was referring, never mind. Today, patchy fog before 9 a.m., mostly sunny with a high near 70. Calm wind becoming south around 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 51. Wednesday, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing with a high near 71. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 69. Look at Friday. Got to get out the flip-flops. 76.
76 flip-flops,
76.
suntan lotion, and
Tank
bikinis.
top. Mhm.
Bikinis.
No
Golf
bikinis.
clubs.
Purple ones.
No.
Okay, speaking of hams, and we'll get to our caller. Who is it, by the way?
Steve.
Hey, Steve, hang in there for just a second. Randy out there in the Southwest community aboard his mobile unit this morning, the golf cart. It was 37 degrees and 99% humidity. Partly cloudy, no wind, and there's no rain anywhere in any of these reports. 41 degrees in the borough early this morning, 99% humidity, calm, no wind. 38 degrees in the back swamp. Lee called in this morning, 99% humidity. Dale called in just before his showtime, 38 degrees up the river around the bend, 99% humidity. 46 degrees, Cedar Point. Oh, yeah, he's got the hot spot. Ward was calling in this morning from Cedar Point, 98% humidity. And Ken, Onslow Bay, just down the street from us right here. It was 41 degrees, 89% humidity. Woodlands, our very own Lee, the other Lee, when the Woodlands it was 32 degrees. Oh, you were right at the freezer. Oh, slip sliding you could be doing.
I wasn't out at 5.
89% humidity. No, 40 degrees. I'm sorry. It wasn't the year. That was yesterday. 40 degrees this morning where you were, 95% humidity. It was 38 this morning early here, but it's dropped to 36, is 99% humidity. And we do have Steve. From the Borough area,
I'm
somewhere
interested
down
to hear.
east, up east, wherever. You're really not down east, are you? Some people say that area is down east.
Yeah.
Down east is further up the coast, isn't it?
Otway.
Yeah, I'm firmly in western Carteret County.
Yeah.
Otway.
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 Yeah. If I go any further west, I'm in Onslow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You can lay down. You can have your toes in Carteret County and your head in Onslow, right?
oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I got a Swansboro address. I'm that close.
Well, what's really weird is the people over there in Maysville. Part of it is in Onslow County, and part of it is in Jones County. Yeah,
Same as
Jones
Surf
County.
City.
It gets really confusing over
Surf
there.
City, we have Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
Also
Yeah.
in
The
Pindar.
Tri-County area.
Yeah, the track.
Hey, I got a pop-off daycare today, so I'll have to be short. I might call back later. But I want to make a point about the Madura thing. And was hearing your last caller making very valid claims about the things that people are saying out there. But have you ever noticed when we have a hurricane or a tornado, the media finds what seems to be the dumbest of the group,
Amen.
and that's who they
Absolutely.
interview? The same thing is happening with politics. You know, it don't matter if it's the right or the left. The reasonable-minded, sane person is not going to be the story.
Nope.
So take it with a grain of salt that I don't believe the majority of Democrats out there look at this as him being taken out as a negative. But what I would say is that if they, as they've done this, you know, if it would have been the left that did it, what questions would we ask? You know, what reasonable questions should the right have to expect to answer in a situation like this? And they're kind of all over the board in trying to explain this. They told us it was about drugs, but in the interview immediately afterwards, Trump said the word oil 25 times in less than 6 minutes. And he mentioned drugs one time. And then he did an interview on Air Force One where they asked him, he said that if they don't behave, we may do a second strike. And the reporter said, what do you mean by behave? He said, they got to give us access to the oil. Now, I don't know that that's the reason, but that sure is a whole lot of talk about oil. And when they talk to his secretaries, they give a different story. So they're not even on the same page, on the same talking points. I can understand how people who don't agree with this administration would be very concerned over that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I understand. Let's put it on a real easy level so that the one that I can understand, because I dealt with it, used to. Quite often, even when in Wilmington, we're looking for a guy who killed a cop, all right? Do you know that we drew a whole, they did, I wasn't a cop then, well, not that jurisdiction, but Wilmington PD, the SBI drew a whole lot of search warrants for known drug locations because they were looking for guys that would be doing something like killing a cop from ambush. And they were also looking for people that would roll over. So you got a guaranteed, let's go get these guys because we know they got dope. We got sources that indicate they got dope.
Mm-hmm.
We got enough probable cause to get warrants, and they did that.
Yeah.
And they never did find the gun that they were looking for, but was the pretext, if you want to call it that. Now, in this case, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Yes, they got some drugs in the raids in Wilmington, but in this case, this guy has been known for so long. Personally, for me, the oil, when you're there, why don't you go ahead and take care of business because we know what's happening. They're shipping it to Iran. We put a blockade up there. They're shipping it to our enemies. Let's just cut that off, and we can cut it off in the past, and we can actually help those people because Venezuela does not have an oil refinery right now that actually will process this particular crude oil. Mm-hmm. They've been shipping it to Iran, and then, of course, they get a lot of money for it. But if we send a team of people in there to repair, this is private business, not we as the United States government, but private business of which has been arranged. They got what, 3 different companies or something that are looking
Three.
at being able to go in there to help the Iranians get their own oil so they can keep the money. Obviously, they are getting companies that go down there from the United States. They're smart enough to get it done. They're going to get paid for it, not by the government, hopefully, but by the people in Venezuela they're going to be helping anyway. Where's the not win-win here? I don't understand.
Okay. I don't disagree with you, but you just articulated a more coherent plan than anyone in the administration has.
I'm running for president in 2028.
I can understand why people are concerned about that.
Yeah.
And, but you also have to take in consideration that this is not something that you can flip a switch and it's going to happen. So it has to be sold to the Democrats.
It does, and it really does.
And they're not trying to sell it at all. Hang on. I got to call you back.
Okay,
I'm
goodbye.
sorry.
See you.
All right.
Okay, so
And I'm not a Democrat. I don't lean to the left. I never have leaned to the left, even when I was a registered Democrat, because there were no Republicans in Onslow County when I lived here before.
I was.
You didn't even know what Republican was. You were too young. But there were everybody was a Democrat here. The elections were decided up until 78 or something. The elections were decided at the primary. Period. Bottom line. There were no Democrats running. If they were, it was like John Smith, and who was that? Nobody knew. So that's the way the elections were held. But when Obama came out that evening in October of 2011, he's a hardcore Democrat. Not a person I voted for either time. I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. All right.
But he was president.
But he was president.
That's right.
He was the commander in chief. He was my president as much as he was you or whoever voted for him. And that's just the way it is. Did I like all of his policies? No. Did he do some good things? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But the night he came out in 2011, and I still didn't vote for him in 2012, even though he was running and even though he made a great statement up there that evening, except that he did like Trump does now. He says, I did this. No, you didn't. You were on board. They told you about what was going down and in time for you to look good. That's the way that works. If you think the CIA told him that they told him everything that was leading up to this, no, that all came out at the very last minute for him. I'm talking about Obama.
Right.
But I celebrated. I didn't dance in the streets because I would have been arrested here in Jacksonville. But I celebrated like everybody else did. I don't care what the party is. He's my president too. And the word is we got him.
yes, we are the United States.
We. It's us and y'all. And I'm supporting this move 110%.
I do too.
If you ever sit down and
I
talk to
have
my
to say
wife,
yes,
she'll
I
tell you
do
that
too.
I've told her many, many, many times in almost 20 years we've been married that in fact, in 2020, was it 2020 when the reward was upped? When
25 million?
2021 was it? Whenever it was, Biden, 2021, I think. He offered up to $25 million. I said, if I could get a team together, is that dead or alive? Because I'm not going to capture somebody like that.
I just want to know, is that 25 million still good?
I didn't know what he got him. If it is, I'll go stealing from them. No, better not. They got guns up there, don't they?
We could probably renovate another room in the White House with that. Let's do it.
But anyway, but it's U.S. tax dollars, so we don't want to do
come
that.
on, I'm being
But
facetious.
back then, $25 million was a tempting thing for
Yes.
if it had been dead or alive, because from a half mile away, but an easy target, because he was brash enough to do whatever. That's the reason they offer, by the way, such larger rewards in other countries, because people are so poor, and they say, well, I may get killed if they're able to do this. And what has occurred over the decades and decades and decades when they've offered certain rewards, not 25 million, that brings up too much attention.
Yeah.
But when we or whoever offers a substantial chunk of change, $100,000 for this dude here who's a bad leader, or he is running and wants to be the leader of this little South American or Central American country, He's running for office.
Thug.
And then all of a sudden he just gets killed
But I'm a decent guy.
by some local dude.
Thug.
And that local dude's family will get that reward money.
If
You understand?
yeah,
That's the reason they offer it.
if what Donald Trump did as commander in chief was so bad, why were all the people in Venezuela dancing in the streets
Partying.
and waving American flags and
Partying.
celebrating if this guy was so good?
One lady who's Venezuelan
Party.
posted on the thing that I did on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
She posted on there. She said, "As a Venezuelan, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks
Yeah.
for saying it. But
I
thank
get
you. Thanks
goosebumps.
to Donald Trump. Thanks
Give
to
me
Donald Trump.
goosebumps.
Thanks to the United States for doing this." Hello.
Yet we have political people on the left saying that it should have went through them first. What were they going to do?
I have
They would've-
so
they
many
would've-
thoughts on that.
We would have had people killed. I mean, this idiot, it was so stupid. He didn't take, I would not have come out of hiding. In fact, I probably would have gone somewhere to look for, to be exiled if Donald Trump had said, and I was in Madura's place,
Right.
I would have known the sucker was coming
Well,
because he said it.
Well,
I would have taken him at his word, and I would have gone.
He said, "Come get me."
I would have taken all my money. I'd have found me a friendly country, and I'd have gone and lived high on the hog for the rest of my life somewhere
speaking
else.
of that, some
Wouldn't you?
of
yeah.
Think about it. He's stupid.
some of the rules that have come out showing Maduro saying, "Come get me," then flipping back to Trump coming, and some of the reels. I don't know who these people are that do these reels and do these little short stories and stuff. Genius, some of the stuff that's been put on social media, like on Instagram, and then Steve calling back again. Some of this stuff is just genius. I love watching I'd rather watch the reels than a movie on TV. I mean, it's just genius
The
stuff.
whole thing is so ridiculous. Maduro, I'm sorry. He was just a thug. He was not a brilliant person because he did not see this. Apparently, he ignored the fact that it was going to happen. Is all I can
Right,
say.
right.
Before we go
Steve,
to Steve,
yeah,
let me answer somebody's question. Kevin, from a couple of days ago, who doesn't know you.
Oh,
He says he doesn't know you, doesn't know your politics.
I don't have any.
He doesn't think you're a Donald Trump fan.
I'm not.
Okay, and Kevin, you're right, but Rayford did put together a very nice piece of
It
editorial
was
work.
intelligent.
It was very intelligent. It was
Factual.
very well thought out. So, Kevin, yes, you hit Rayford.
Don't do that.
You hit he hit the nail on the head, not you in the head. But so that Kevin,
I thought it was an excellent piece, well written by
it was,
you.
it was common sense.
You brought out stuff that I just would never thought of, and it got me to thinking,
Ever
and
been to
it got me
Venezuela?
to exploring.
Ever been to Venezuela?
No,
I have.
saving up for Brazil. What's wrong with you?
Sorry, Steve.
Go ahead, Steve. Jump in anytime.
Steve, I can't control her.
That's okay. I was just sitting patiently. I got my granddaughter came in, so
Oh,
I was
hi,
not trying to cut off
granddaughter.
so quick.
Papa?
Yeah, I got her
does
settled.
she call you Papa?
She doesn't.
Oh.
Actually, she's I don't know if you call her nonverbal at this
Okay.
stage. She's going on 3.
Hmm.
She babbles constantly, but she doesn't actually say any words yet. So
Oh,
we got her
she'll
going
get
to a
there.
therapist and trying to
Oh,
Good.
work through that. And
well,
but right now she's watching a program about learning to talk. She does like to
Aw.
watch TV, even though I'm not a big fan of that. In this case, I make an exception.
well, in some cases, just being around people that are talking, I would assume would be, I really wish, kids at early ages, that's when you need to get them and not to indoctrinate them, but you need to get them so that they are exposed to a lot of stuff, other people, general conversations, meet as many different people as possible. They will form their own likes and dislikes, and they'll learn how to talk. And then you can't shut them up like me.
Actually, our middle son, Jonathan, which he's 27 now, he was the same way. He didn't speak until he was after 3 years old. And with him, I played guitar and sang to him, and he had a lot of good response from him. And I do the same thing with my granddaughter. And she engages. She comes up and wants to, play the strings and, the power of music.
My dad preached that. He was not a musician. He never knew anything about music, but he learned to build a couple of musical instruments, and he sold a million of one of them because it was a lark. But he used to build dulcimers, which was sort of a fine instrument. But then he invented something called the canjo, and he gave those canjos to so many people. One string, one can, one man.
Is yours still over there? Do you still have it?
I've got them.
I know you had it.
I've got them scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
We
I remember those.
We've got them all over the place. But anyway, he did that, and he gave them to music classes. There's a picture we've still got here somewhere. He sent a bunch of them free, paid for the postage down to Mexico to a teacher who said she was interested in getting one. She had seen it, and he sent her enough for her entire class.
Let's
And
play ukulele.
he just thought music could cure all the ills in the world.
You played?
I think it's very therapeutic, and now
Yes,
science has proven that certain frequencies have, invoke certain, responses in humans. So, there's some science behind it now. Something we've known forever. But
Okay, let's go back to the rest of the world.
Back to the Maduro thing. Yeah, I agree with taking this person out. That's the first thing I want to say. I do agree with that. But when I think about it, and throughout American history, we have not really done this well in the past, and a lot of times it's because of poor planning by whatever administration was in power, not by the military. They're solid, but they have to follow the orders of the people, the bureaucrats. So, as they've done this, the first question I would ask, even though I support it, is, what's your plan? And it's painfully obvious that they don't even have the same talking points. So I can understand how people who do not agree with this are freaking out over it. I can understand their position. I don't say I agree with their position, but I can understand how that would freak them out. It freaks me out a little bit, and I agree with it. Also, we have to ask the question, we left the vice president in place with the hopes that they're going to turn a corner. That was the quote from Marco Rubio. That's what Marco Rubio said. I quoted that from him. But everyone knows the vice president in any administration, no matter where it is in the world, is the weaker of the two. The cartels were controlling Maduro. I don't really believe that the vice president is going to be able to handle the cartel now.
No, he won't. But, I don't think that the vice president's going to stay in power. I don't think he's got I don't see that happening. I mean, she was not going to stay in power. I don't see that happening. There's Trump's already mentioned that too.
Yeah.
He said, she's a nice lady and she supports what occurred, of course, and she supports Trump, but he doesn't think that she's got what it takes to take over this operation. Because there's a lot of fixing to be done.
But
you're construing two different people. There's the lady who actually won the election that he said she shouldn't take over, but the vice president that's taking over at the moment.
That's a temporary. That's a temporary thing.
Right.
But didn't and maybe Steve or Rayford, you can lead both. All of you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw a press release a conference where she said he is still the president, Maduro. And
that was the vice president, right? Not the lady who won the Peace Prize,
right? And that's the one that should be.
Well, she is as vice president. Here's the problem: how can he be president? He was never elected to be president in the first place,
right?
So running for re-election, as he did and always won, that makes him an illegitimate president, right?
Right.
Right. which makes her an illegitimate vice president.
Correct. So that's
I
where
think that's where you were headed.
that's
yeah.
where that's the whole point. So she's a nothing. She's just another person. So
Sure.
she needs to step away. And yes, she does not have what it takes to be president. Even if she was, if we decided to leave her there, or the people decided, I don't think she's got what it takes, because she's trained by Maduro, right? She
Right.
got the Maduro's.
I was gonna say, she's just in bed with the cartel as
Of
he
course,
was,
of
and
course.
she's the weaker of the two.
Yes.
So they're going to. I see a scenario where the cartel gains more power in that
Yeah.
government, not less.
Yeah, she doesn't have the ability to fight the cartel. That's where I was talking about with what Trump and
Right.
he's already said that. But as far as the other lady who wants to be, she's probably not ready. According Trump doesn't think she's ready, and she's probably too nice to be ready.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, the voters seem to think she was, and once again, I tend to side with democracy.
Yep.
But you know, so that's my Achilles heel, I guess. But what I would say is that, you know, we can all agree these are some very valid questions. You know, and the administration, this was not something that they rushed into. It's not something that was an emergency response type situation. I don't understand how they didn't have a plan to address the media after they did this, that they didn't have talking points, that all of them were on the same page when they went on the Sunday morning talk shows. They're all over the board about who's running it, how it's going to go from this point forward. It seems chaotic, and they had all the time in the world to have a very prepared response to the media after they did this.
Well,
Doesn't that seem weird?
the thing was supposed to have occurred, 3 or 4 days before it went down, but weather was a factor. I guess they didn't have umbrellas or something. But anyway, they didn't do it when they were going to do it. And if they had, perhaps, and things had gone smoothly, they would have, by the weekend, by the Sunday talk shows. That's where everybody gets out there and says something. During the week, there's generally one primary voice on weekdays, but by Sunday, everybody that anybody can find to come in front of a camera will show up. And they all did not have the same message. They knew, but they didn't have any real answers to the questions. So I think they made up a lot of answers. To be honest with you, that's what I saw. Right? They said what people wanted to hear.
I'm interested to hear what Lee's opinion of them coming out there not having talking points that they all stuck to after something like this. Doesn't that seem weird to you?
Yeah, well, I kind of expected it, but then again, I wish it hadn't happened. This just further divides our nation, our Congress, our leaders. I think a lot of they came out with rubbish, and to me, they made themselves absolute fools. And I'm thinking, this is what's leading our country. And just going into that, I mean, it's just like, I don't know if you watch Jesse Waters on Fox, but he has a segment where he's got an anchor producer for the show named Johnny Belisario that goes out and he asks college students questions. You know, like, what's the 3 different...
Dweeb plus Dweeb is what?
Well, he was at last night, they were showing him, and he was asking them, like, what do you think about the United States taking Maduro? And most of the answers were, what's that?
Yeah.
Is that a place? They have no clue. And so that's all we have coming up in our next generation. They asked this one lady, and she said, well, I don't know. I can only tell you what I did for New Year's. And that was, I passed out. My son picked me up, took me home, and I lost my shoes. I mean, that's the kind of mentality that we have. And with the leaders that we have now getting on media and saying the dumb things that they're saying about this, I mean, I'm just flabbergasted. I'm just like, where are we going? Where are we going as a nation? I mean, I'm all for what happened this weekend. I think we had to take action. I was surprised at the whole thing. You know, woke up Saturday morning and we were like all texting each other going, did you hear about this? And so I was stuck to the tube most of the day. But
She was in a meeting Saturday morning and was paying no attention to what was happening at the meeting because I was there.
No, I wasn't.
I appreciate all those comments, Lee, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. But you kind of jumped over the question I was actually asking.
Okay, go ahead and ask it again.
Politics 101.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have your talking points prepared before you take major action? Isn't that just
Absolutely.
like basic politics? And
Absolutely.
they did not appear to have done that.
Are you talking
That's
about
really
which side are
the
you
Trump
talking about?
administration.
Oh, I
The
thought you
Trump
were talking
administration.
about
I know
the
the
other
left, they
side.
got their talking points together. They're all
Right.
over the board.
Right.
They're complaining about this part of it and that part of it and the other part of it. But I'm talking about as the administration who took this action, it's basic politics 101 to have your talking points prepared before you go in front of the media. They didn't do that.
I agree with
And
that, but I still think there's a lot that's not being said right now.
Well, we know that.
And it'll eventually come
I
out.
agree,
Right.
but usually even if they lie to us, they all feel the same lie. I mean,
Be consistent,
so
right?
I can understand. It concerns me. You know, somebody that's way on the left,
Mhm.
like when me and Theo talk, I expect him to be like way more, you know, upset over that, something like that, than I am. But I do understand why he's upset more than me, you know,
Right.
about it. So that's the thing I keep trying to push is these guys are not perfect. They are making mistakes. So don't put them on a pedestal. Ask the same questions you would ask of the left. You know, explain what you're doing, explain what the exit strategy is, what going forward is. How are you selling this to the rest of the country? Because you're only going to be here 3 years. You may not even have control of Congress next year.
Steve,
You know, those are honest questions.
Steve, let me ask you a question, sort of piggybacking off what you asked, Lee. So Marco Rubio had interviews with, I think, all the major, the big three networks. Do you think it's driven by that particular news person or host, talk show host, that's asking the question the way they ask it? Because I thought he did a good job with the lady from NBC. Then he gets in with George Stephanopoulos, and he turns everything in a whole different direction. And so they're almost forcing him to change his answer based on the way they're asking their questions.
What?
I would disagree with you on George Stephanopoulos. I don't necessarily agree with the man. I can tell he's a left leaning, but he, in my opinion, is a honorable interviewer. Now he's going to ask questions. He's going to try and put him in a corner, and that's the same thing we would do if we were interviewing Joe Biden during his administrations. We try and put him in a corner. We try and put his secretaries in a corner and make them answer the hard questions. That's what they're supposed to do. And if he can't handle George Stephanopoulos, why is he Secretary of State?
Well, and that's an easy
He has to deal with people a lot more important, a lot bigger, a lot smarter than George Stephanopoulos.
I don't want to say that part of it, but the way Kristen Welker handled the questioning versus how George Stephanopoulos handled it. It is like two different interviews.
I understand. I take it with a grain of salt that they are trying to have a gotcha moment. They're trying to put him in a corner to make him answer hard questions. And that I can kind of, you know, let slide a little bit, like I say, with a grain of salt. But the fact that he did not have any talking points, and when they interviewed Kristi Noem, she told a different story about what was going on. And when they interviewed Trump, he told a third story.
Don't interview
About what
Trump.
was going
Don't
on.
interview him.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is the president of the United States.
Yep.
I mean, if you're not going to ask him, you know, that's the issue too. But that's where it kind of got a little, you know, worrisome to me, is when they weren't even talking about the same things. So I don't understand that part. Why are they not doing the basics to keep people calm? Yeah.
I'm not sure, Steve, that any of them will ever be able to do the who, what, where, when, why.
Till it goes to
Well,
committee.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No.
also I keep this is in the back of my mind the whole time, is that Senator Tom Tillis told us he's surrounded by bad advisors. He's already told us that. I trust Senator Tom Tillis. I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but I don't believe the man would lie to me. And so that's constantly in the back of my head, is that we have honorable Republican senators who said those people, those secretaries, are not giving him good information. And
Well, Steve,
that concerns me.
Within a couple of weeks or so, I'm going to be having a gentleman that I'll be talking with. We'll have the opportunity to be talking with him one-on-one, and he's the head of the Republican Party, not of North Carolina, but the entire country of this country, the Republican Party.
United States,
So
right?
we've got him one-on-one, Mr. Watley, and he's running for the U.S. Senate. He wants to take the seat that's being vacated by Tillis.
Right.
Now, yes, he's a politician in that respect, but has he ever? He has not sought any major positions in a federal level.
No,
This will be his first. So anyway, I think that we might get a few answers as to how it works in the Republican Party, because all y'all know I'm not a Republican, and I don't mind asking questions of anybody. So I think he might be one of the more honest individuals that I'll be talking to this year.
He'll be interested and see what he has to say.
Yeah, well, he can't. I'm not going to try to back him into a corner, but I'm not going to let him walk either with a political statement.
Am I mistaken? Was he was the Republican leader of the North Carolina?
Yes,
Yes,
he was.
He was
At one
chosen first time in
Is he the
2015.
one? Is he the one that was an election denier, or was that a different one?
I don't recall
Not
that.
sure.
I don't
After
know.
looking at that, I don't recall. I know that there was one that was an avid, outspoken election denier that was the head of the Republican Party for North Carolina, but I can't remember if it was him.
Now, he's been.
So I have to check into that.
He's the head of the Republican Party from 2015 through 2023
Through this year.
or so, until
Through 2020.
because when Trump ran, he started his campaign in 2023 for 2024, and that's when Watley left there and went to Trump's camp. So the person that you're talking had to be about Watley, and yes, he did.
I don't want to claim that for sure until I
Right.
look back on it a little bit more,
Right.
but I think that was the case. And I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but my standpoint is anybody who's still talking about that, they're stuck in the mud.
If they
Exactly.
are still talking about
Yes.
it, if they still are denying
Yeah.
that it was the case, were there issues? Yeah, we keep finding that there were discrepancies. There was nothing has been uncovered that would have changed the outcome of that election. Nothing, none of the fraud, or if you want to call it fraud, or the illegal voting, if you want to call it illegal voting by certain individuals, the distance between the two, nothing would have changed the outcome of the election that has been uncovered.
And I was going to say, I think we're most people are on that page now, but it still gets talked about quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
And I'm sorry that I brought it up.
I'm a realist, so I'm
Yeah.
a realist here. So no,
Yeah, don't apologize for bringing it up, Steve.
no, I go through. You ever study the Monroe Doctrine? You remember it?
I wouldn't say I've studied it.
Okay.
I'm vaguely familiar with it at best.
Some real basic talking points, and apparently the Trump brought it up too. He's looked at the Monroe Doctrine, and he's referenced that when he's talking about what just went down. The doctrine is a pro-U.S. or pro-America doctrine. It's because it doesn't want any intervention from any European, is what they call them, European nations, to get involved in any political activities or any of the politics or anything, try to take over the Americas, as in plural, North, South, and Central. Obviously, the stuff in South America, we know that's as is in America. Central America, we got Honduras and we got Belize. We got in North America, we got Mexico. People keep forgetting that's in North America, and we've got Canada. But the whole idea when James Monroe came out with it to begin with, which was further added to, he came out in 1823, but back in the Roosevelt days, he came out with it. He made it even interpreted it to be even stronger. So yeah, we will go down there as Roosevelt did. Remember San Juan Hill? As we went down and we did things. We blockaded Cuba in 1961, was it 62, something like that. We kept to keep the Russians out of Cuba. We know we've had Venezuelan. We've had problems with Grenada. We've had all sorts of issues there that pose a potential threat to the United States and to other Americas, other countries in the Americas. So, this might be a stretch in some people's mind, but I got to look at it a little bit more to see how Trump uses this to as a reference to what occurred last weekend.
Right. I would say with the Monroe Doctrine that if you're referencing that as a talking point or a part of your policy, that may be wise. If you're using it for your policy, that may be
a stretch.
That may be a little foolish. This isn't the same world it was when that was written. We've learned a lot of lessons, since then. But, we've had, regime change. Look at Iraq. That was something that I feel was, a guy, when they take him out, that we spent 20 years, $2 billion and thousands of American lives, and we didn't really succeed. There's a whole nother caliphate of the children of the people that we killed that in about 15 years we're going to be the new ISIS.
Yep.
We keep doing the same thing over and over again. And honestly, that was one of the things that Trump and the Republicans ran on, that we weren't going to do things like this anymore. I had to look it up last night. Do you know that the Trump administration has carried out strikes in 8 countries in the last 12 months? And it ain't actually been 12 months yet, till the January 20th. 8 strikes against.
I know Nigeria is most recent. We've done a lot of stuff, and we've done it for and part of the Monroe Doctrine too. We were talking about as an offshoot during that time. We were also going to stay out of wars and anything in Europe and in that part of the world. Well, we know what happened. Of course, we were brought into those wars. And why are we still in some of those places? I don't know, but I do understand why it would be good. Why are we in Okinawa? Why are we furnishing a military force for Japan after World War II? We said, we'll take care of you. You just don't need a strong military, because we didn't want them attacking us again. At that point in time, I would have understood it, because they did pull a sneaky on us. And we did not want them to ever become that powerful again, military-wise. So we said, you keep your military under check, and we will take care of Japan. Okay, I think that was probably that should have expired some time ago. Personally, it's expensive for us.
Oh,
It is, but there's also the argument to be made that it gives us a presence in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Where we have some influence instead of them just doing whatever they want to do.
It does, but is it our place to have that influence? Is it up to us to do that?
Post World War II, the world changed quite a bit.
Yes, it did.
The world got a lot smaller after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized that what goes on other continents can affect us, and we don't necessarily want it to become a full-blown dumpster fire before we address it.
Yep.
That's the same thing we did in World War II. We tried to set it out. They was a big part of America that did not want to be part of World War II.
Yeah.
And when we finally went in, we almost didn't win. Yeah, if it weren't for the Russians, the Germans would have won World War II.
If it wasn't for that bomb, Japan, we would be speaking Japanese.
And I agree with that as well. But like I say, we found out that the world was a lot smaller than we thought it was. And so post World War II, we try and put those fires out before they start. We're not very good at it. Mm-hmm. And that's why, a lot of people, me included, are very skeptical when we do something like this. Seems like every administration that's done this, they all make the mistake of thinking it's going to be easy.
Here's one of the problems. We're very short-sighted, and we became extremely short-sighted after Richard Nixon. After he did what he did, he utilized an agency that had done a lot of really good, dirty, but good work as preventative medicine, use it as preventative medicine to make sure that people like Maduro never came to power. But once Carter took office after the Nixon years, he kind of neutered the CIA. Y'all can't do nothing now anymore, and therefore all of a sudden you got people like Ayatollah Khomeini taking hostages. You've got Maduro down there in Venezuela coming to power in early 2000s. You've got all this stuff happening. Really? Some of these people that came to power never would have lived to become powerful in the old day. And it wouldn't have taken an invasion or a police action like was done last weekend. It would not have taken that to take care of business. But we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I get that. But there were some people back then that were troublesome that were hard to deal with as well. This is not a new thing. It's part of the human condition throughout history. I will say that because the world's become smaller, we've become more aware of all these people. But once again, if they do this, it's a complicated task. And it seems like that, I guess when it happens, everybody wants to be reassured. Everybody wants them to come out and explain what they're doing and, try and give us some kind of assurance that we're doing the right thing. The Maduro part, yeah, that's the right thing, but the regime change part is always the tricky part.
Well, if Maduro's gone, there's going to be a regime change, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there hasn't been a regime change.
no, not yet.
That's the whole point.
It's been a week
No.
or less than a week.
Well, they intend to let that lady have her chance, is what the statement is by Trump, not necessarily by Rubio. That's why I say it's confusing, because not all of them are saying the same thing.
Oh, they'll change their
Yeah,
mind. It will, give them time. She's not going to be put in as a leader to lead for any period of time. I don't think. I don't know who will.
But
I hope
agree.
we do not put a governor there as things like we've done in places before. We don't need to do something like that.
I heard this just this morning when I got up, and y'all may have already heard about it. Apparently, Trump has put Stephen Miller in charge of this project.
Yeah.
Had y'all heard that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I mean, my confidence in Stephen Miller is way below the rest of them in that cabinet. I don't know how y'all feel about that,
I don't
but
like
he's an angry little man.
I don't like him.
He's very emotional, and I don't like people in that high position who are real emotional. I know we get a lot of them, but I really like to see somebody who has control.
Yep.
But
Steve, you got a grandbaby over there. You better go play some music.
I do. I've
Yeah.
been checking on her. I've been walking back and forth. She's eating Cheerios and watching TV.
Good choice.
Cheerios. Is there a song about Cheerios? I mean, they
There may be.
Cheerios. I don't know. I know Snap Crackle Pop. You could come up with something, but maybe you could write a song about Cheerios.
I don't like them.
I don't either.
Oh no,
I like
I
Honey Nut Cheerios.
I have every morning
Yeah.
Cheerios with strawberries and,
Honey
and
Nut.
blueberries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like them either. I don't like cereal in general.
I like a fried egg. I don't know how y'all feel, but
That sounds
and it
good.
probably ain't good for me. But
Here, try this sometime. You go get yourself some of those canned clams, those minced clams. Hush for a second. And get some
ham
of
and
those.
eggs.
Do that. Scramble up some eggs with some garlic and onions and green peppers. It's kind of like an omelet, but I can't make an omelet. They always come apart, so I just scramble them anyway. and then
Oh.
add some clams
Oh, I
and the juice at the end.
I'm just a
Good.
country girl. Scramble me an egg. I'm happy.
I do almost a lot too anyway. But anyway, I'll let y'all go. I'm sorry. I'll keep y'all way too long.
Thank
Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye.
Just to go back
You
about
hear his baby back there? His grandbaby?
yes. Let me set the facts straight about Michael Watley because I had him all messed up. 2019 is when he was elected the North Carolina chairman of the party, and he held that title through March 2024 when he went to go work for the Trump administration, and he was the national Republican National Committee chair. He resigned from that in August 2025 to run for U.S. Senate. So I got thinking about it. I said, wait a minute. When I first got involved so heavy into the party, Robin Hayes was the
Robin
chairman.
Hayes was the guy, yeah.
And he was the one that was indicted by a federal jury
I think
for bribery.
Didn't I
Trying
talk to
to,
him one day? I think I had him
he
on
was
the air
trying to
years ago.
bribe Mike Causey, our insurance commissioner, and him and another gentleman. And of course,
It
he
didn't
got
work.
pardoned anyway in 2021 by I wonder where he's at these days. He got pardoned by Trump in 2021. So
Venezuela.
yeah.
21. Trump wasn't as president in 2021, was he?
Well, it says 2021 in the story here.
Well,
but,
he was
yeah.
up until 20th of January, so maybe at the very end.
Yeah,
he pardoned him.
yeah. He was on January 20th, 2021. He was pardoned by President Donald
All
Trump.
right, we do weather, but a lot of people, or several
I
people,
remember
posted
him.
on response to some stuff that was done that I had last weekend about the Honduran president, and
What?
we got arrested. We had him for drugs. He was sentenced and all that sort of good stuff, and then Trump commuted his sentence. He was a drug trafficker. He was involved in it too. Y'all need to just wait and see what occurs from that. I don't know what led up to this particular. I was talking to Robin about it yesterday about when you get low life people, lower echelon people, that you got them by the vitals and they know that they're going down or they're going to suffer, going to prison or whatever. They will roll over on other people. I don't know what went down with this Honduran dude. Don't really care. If he's really bad, he'll be. I don't think he's left the United States. I believe I've heard that his sentence commuted, but I think he's still here. I don't know. We'll see. If I was him, I wouldn't be going back
No.
because he'd be a short time. His life, don't. You better take out an insurance policy. Looking good in the morning this morning for a near shore fishing run if you want to do that, but be back by noonish. By the afternoon, a small craft advisory will go into effect and remain that way through Wednesday afternoon. Today, offshore, northwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20, gust to 25 in the afternoon. Seas in the morning, 2 to 3 footers, building to 3 to 5 in the afternoon. They're going to be kind of close together, so it's going to be sloppy. Near shore, that's an official forecast, by the way, sloppy. Near shore, seas 2 to 3 feet. Sounds and rivers going to be flat, becoming choppy in the afternoon. Wednesday, westerly winds 15 to 20, diminishing to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. 4 to 6 footers, they're only going to be 7 seconds apart. And go, bumpity bump. That's another official term. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Thursday, good offshore conditions are coming back. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, mostly sunny with a high near 70. Calm wind to be coming south around 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 51. Wednesday, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing with a high near 71. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high near 69. Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 76.
All right, well, we'll move back to the Maduro crap a little bit if we need to. Got a couple of things, though, we probably need to talk about. A couple of weeks back, the story of a toddler that drowned on a front porch of his home here in Onslow County left a lot of questions. Well, Onslow deputies responded to the home when the 16-month-old child was reported missing by its mother. The officers found the boy in the container of water on the porch at the home on Old Timber Road. Officers called EMS and they started life-saving efforts. The deputies did. Unfortunately, the boy was pronounced dead at the hospital. He didn't make it. The mother, 30-year-old Elizabeth Marie Holderness. Okay, guys, some Elizabeth Izzy Hand, that was her main Hand, surrendered to sheriff's deputies yesterday to face charges that include felony involuntary manslaughter, felony negligent child abuse with serious bodily injury, and 6 misdemeanor counts of contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile. On the 11th of December, when deputies responded to the call about the missing child, a report indicates there were six kids between 1 and 8 years of age at that home. 6 kids.
Yes, just
The
6.
investigators' report shows the accused had been in a different room at that home and was ingesting an illegal substance, don't know what it was, and had not been present with the children for an extended period of time, including the time that the 16-month-old
That
baby
poor baby.
disappeared.
That poor
In court yesterday, Holderness asked the judge to order a drug test on her before setting bond. The test, administered almost 4 weeks after the death of the baby on the 11th of December, came back negative. Her bond was set at $75,000.
Not enough.
A man was arrested Sunday night by Jacksonville PD, charged with assaulting his pregnant ex-girlfriend, 23-year-old Ethan Carrero. Jailed pending a court appearance on misdemeanor assault and battery charges and domestic violence. The two were in a recent dating relationship. The assault charge is for shoving the woman. The battery charge is because of the unborn baby. When it's a domestic situation and domestic violence is involved, no bond is allowed until he can see a judge. A warrant
Good.
states that Carrero shoved the woman to the ground. Reports are that he is the father of that baby. The independent radical deplorables like me do not like HOAs.
Nobody does.
I'm sure they can serve some sort of useful purpose. Can't think of what it would be, but there have been too many reports of heavy-handed groups acting like Hitler's stormtroopers in some cases. One lady is not a fan. A single mother in Arizona has a townhome there. She was fined $150 by her HOA because a brown paper bag
Oh, no.
blew into the street when she left it beside the dumpster because the dumpster was overflowing.
Please give me the address.
Her mistake
Let's go.
was that she did not remove the receipt with her name on it from the bag for the takeout dinner that had been in that bag. A small brown paper bag. Numerous residents have complained because the dumpsters are constantly overflowing and trash blows all over the area. Perhaps the HOA should invest in a larger dumpster or maybe arrange for it to be picked up more often, like 3 times a week instead of 2. God, I love the Hitlers that survived the war.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely
Well,
ridiculous.
I figured I could get you goat.
Just what was the name of that place? I've just got
It's
to
in
write it up.
Arizona.
Well,
In Arizona.
we have some HOAs around here. There's one rule I definitely don't agree with, and I don't live in an HOA.
I don't either.
live in one.
I was.
But
I won't.
you cannot have cars parked in the street in front of your
Right.
house. My problem with that is this, because they go through there at night.
Right.
They have a company that goes through and tows the cars away.
Bite me.
Yeah. Well, if you have a party, New Year's Eve party, you don't want people drinking and driving. So you say, stay home, stay here, give me your keys, leave. So they're being punished for trying to not make somebody drink and drive by leaving their car in the street because the HOA
Tow
don't want
companies
it.
make a bunch of money off
They
that.
sure they do. That's
Wonder what kind of
dumb.
wonder what kind of percentage the HOA gets out of that towing fee and impoundment. That would be the thing that I would do. I'd get a court order to show how much the HOA
Could be.
gets.
Could be.
So I mean, you got to understand, follow
No.
the money.
Oh yeah.
You'll find a reason for these things. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, ham radio operators hate HOAs. It goes back to the days of TV antennas when cable first came out.
Yeah.
HOAs came and said, we're not going to let you put up a TV antenna because you can get cable.
Mhm.
Wonder how much money they got from the cable companies for that. Think about it. That was back in the 70s.
Well, no, actually, I faced that here in the 2000s, dealing with HOAs for the cable company, and there was a lot of restrictions from the HOAs.
Guess what's happening now, though? They cannot restrict it.
Oh no, yeah, I mean,
Ham radios took them to court.
did they really?
Yes, sir, buddy.
Yeah, they passed a new law here in West
Yeah,
Carolina. Well, they
we got
strengthened
a
the law.
because it put a stop to ham radio antennas. We became sneaky. All these flagpoles that are in HOAs, you think they're up there to fly flags? Oh, absolutely not. They're insulated from the ground, and they are the antenna. They might have a flag on the top of it, but they are an antenna, a vertical antenna. Rain gutters around your house, if it's metal, they became antennas. And then if it was vinyl, what you do is you just run a wire through it and the length of it, and that becomes your antenna. We had ways of dealing with them.
Having dealt with HOAs and having known people that live in them, I just don't understand the purpose of that. And why you would live with a place that would tell you.
There are pros to an HOA, but I have no use for HOAs. But there are pros to it.
Yeah,
there's one down there in right outside Wilmington. Well, I think it's inside the limits of Wilmington now. It was just outside near Riceville Beach. I had one there, and you know what their requirements were? If you got a pickup truck, you cannot park it in your front driveway.
Oh, I've heard that one.
They made my kids move. They had
pickup truck, a $70,000 pickup truck, not a commercial truck. A $70,000 pickup truck.
There are some you can't plant a bush without the HOA board's approval.
And the mailboxes had to be a certain height. Yeah.
No bush.
I know, but mailboxes. Oh yeah,
they all had to look alike,
and they had to come from and only one place that was selling this particular mailbox in one location, and they had to get it. Everybody had to get their mailbox from that one location.
My kids lived when they were living in Houston, Texas. They lived in a beautiful neighborhood, but it was governed by an HOA, and my son-in-law had bought a used camper he was going to fix up. They made him move it out of the front, from the side of the house and put it back behind a privacy fence because they felt like it was an eyesore. And, things like that. I mean, HOAs do help maintain property values by enforcing, the aesthetic type guidelines and stuff.
Yeah,
and
if you want to have a Stepford wife and you want to do that kind of stuff, go ahead. A little white picket fence, so it's 4 feet 2 inches tall, 4 feet 4 inches tall, get you sighted.
You better not have that grass more than 2 inches too. See, I pretty much try to take care of my outside, but I don't want to have the fear of somebody coming by going like,
my property.
You need to sweep your front porch.
My property.
Or get out, get away from me.
I see the purpose when it comes to condominiums, especially down at the beach.
Different story.
Different story. Single family.
Yeah, my property.
Yeah, I couldn't, when I buy a house and I move out, I buy a house. That's mine. That's my property. And let me take care of it as I see need.
Do you know what Victory Gardens were?
I've heard of it.
World War II. A lot of people, a lot of men, farmers, everybody deployed, right? They were overseas. They were fighting.
Yeah, that's what...
people started growing their own food, and they did it in their front yards. You had there was a yard in Wilmington at one of those, it was a low-rent project.
Right.
They had the most beautiful yard. It's a small yard. I mean, about half the size of this office, this studio. Mm-hmm. And they always had vegetables in the spring and the summer. They had a neatest little garden there. Do you know that if there was an HOA, they couldn't do that? Yeah. But they were growing their own stuff there. I applauded them.
I'm afraid I'd have to show my backside because I'd
showed something else. It was something.
I'd be showing my backside.
They start finding you, and then
they do.
And then because my youngest brother lived in one here in Jacksonville. He had his Christmas lights up past January 31st and got sent a letter. And the president of the HOA.
Let's draft up an imaginary one and send it to Rayford.
I laugh.
He will rant for 5 days.
I said, bring it on. You don't like it? Come on over here. You want to take it down?
Your lights.
Come on over here and take it down. Well, it's staying up because right now, here's what I've got.
I like them.
I've ordered, and they're due in this week.
Right.
I've ordered 20 little small wire wraps. You buy the big ones, extension cords and stuff. I said, it's got 14 strands of lights around that pole.
Right.
plus one more strand with
No,
a
I'm
power
talking
cable
about
coming
what's
down.
on the house.
Oh, they will still be around.
Right.
They're not holiday lights. They're lights.
Right. And I love them.
But
They're nice.
that's a Robbie thing. But for the flagpole
Yes.
out there, it's coming down, but I'm not going to take it down because those
Mhm.
wires will get all tangled. These people that Robbie bought those lights from,
Mhm.
those things are wrapped, every one of them, but it was done by a machine
Mhm.
and had a rubber band around it.
Yeah.
Do you think that I can do that again? No. So I found a source for them. I got 2 packs of 10. That gives me 15 that I need and 5 extras that I can wrap each strand of lights around, put a rubber band around it. They won't become entangled. 14 strands of really tiny LED lights.
Yeah.
No. I'd spend a week and then I would start cutting things up and saying really nasty things. So that would be the problem that I would have. You know how that works.
I still have a bucket of lights that was found on my property. If anybody's missing a bucket of lights or outdoor lights, they were
Yeah.
all folded up and strapped very
Ooh.
neatly. And if you want them, you can.
No, they're not mine. I don't.
I mean, I've put out the word, nobody's bit. So
Well, if I can piggyback off your, give out the word on January 17th at 9 a.m. Onza Memorial Park Cemetery. We'll be picking up the wreaths.
The wreaths, okay.
That's national.
What
It's
day
the
of the week is
national
that?
day. It's a Saturday.
Okay,
Saturday
Saturday.
morning.
The 17th.
If you personally want to have some wreaths and you have goats, like Donkey Man has donkeys, but
I know some 2-legged goats.
well, if they are hungry. But if you would like to, give me a call and let me know you're going to come out and get them, because otherwise they're going to this one man that has 5 goats.
He can have mine.
You can have yours?
Yeah,
Okay.
mine.
Okay. Thank you. He can have the one at my mom's.
Is he going to come get them?
No, there's
Do we need to pick them up?
no. Well, we would like to have some people come help us load them into trailers.
if you
Okay.
have
Then they're gonna be-
wagons,
yeah.
bring little wagons.
Yeah.
My brother did
Little
that
red
one year
wagon?
when we went to clean
Yeah.
up the veteran cemetery. And those little wagons, like beach wagons,
Yeah.
he brought that and he was just piling the stuff. I thought that
Yeah.
was smart. I have one of those.
Okay.
Remind me and I'll bring it with me.
We're hoping-
And
We're hoping that Junior ROTC from Camp Lejeune comes back out
that would be wonderful.
and helps.
I got an idea. Why don't you have a
some
contest
schools.
out there and have a wreath toss?
Yeah.
See who can toss the wreath. Maybe put up some little like bottles like they have at the fairs and stuff like that. And see people could throw them over there and
Well,
give them a prize.
And if anybody's into
have an
crafting
extra
and
wreath?
wants red ribbons,
Oh wow!
Right.
you're welcome to the red ribbons.
Well,
Oh Jennifer, do you want some red ribbons? Well,
Jennifer might like them. Yeah.
But, and then if anybody wants to take them to the,
wires.
beach, or the wires can be recycled for money.
Right.
But if you wanted to take them to the beach areas for
Sure.
beach nourishment, they're
I'll take the
it's just
wires
like
off
trees.
of them though if you do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
The wires for these ladies who like to do home crafts, and any men too. The wires would be great.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those things cost.
I got one for you. Be careful what you promise people. When you make promises, be careful.
I make no resolutions, no promises.
Especially if it's done on television and a commercial announcement of that, and then refuse to pay up saying, I was just joking.
Oh, do tell.
Happened back in 1996.
It was an HOA, wasn't it?
Nope. Pepsi Cola was running a campaign trying to take over the lead in the Cola Wars from Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
The company was offering various prizes to the people who collected the most bottle caps. Do you remember something along those
Mhm.
lines back then? They
Hmm.
give you different prizes. At the end of the commercial, a Harrier jet, supposedly piloted by what appeared to be a teenager, landed. It landed, but they cut away to a kid, young person. It landed, and the ad copy said that the person who got the equivalent of $700,000 would be given the jet. At the time, the Harrier sold for $33 million.
Oh,
One young man took the offer at face value, but he had to come
Oh,
up with
they can't.
$700,000. So this 21-year-old business student, he did the math. He raised 700 grand
Mm.
and formally ordered the jet. Pepsi refused. He sued. Advertising law has never been the same since. Pepsi Stuff was a promotion where customers collected points from caps, cans, and packaging to redeem for branded merchandise. T-shirt, 75 Pepsi points. Leather jacket, 1,450 points. Sunglasses, 175 points.
Cool.
If you got 7 million Pepsi points, you could get the fighter jet, the Harrier. A joke, obviously to everyone except John Leonard, a student from Seattle. He saw the opportunity. The commercial never said it was kidding, and the official Pepsi stuff catalog allowed customers to buy extra points for 10 cents each. So and he went out and collected money. The math, the 7 million points he could get for $700,000, 10 cents.
Yeah.
Right.
Leonard gathered money from friends, family, a local investor. He then sent Pepsi the official order with a check for $700,008.50, which included $4.19 for shipping and 15 original points as required. Pepsi replied quickly, but not the way Leonard hoped. They returned the check with a letter explaining that the jet was obviously a joke and not available. They offered merchandise and coupons instead. Leonard refused and filed suit. Leonard versus PepsiCo Incorporated. The offer, point one, as they said, the offer was clearly a joke. The jet was never listed in the official catalog. They could not legally transfer a military aircraft to a private citizen, and the price was satirical.
See that one?
Leonard's lawyers responded that
Man.
advertisements can be binding offers when they are specific about price, item, and terms, and that Pepsi's rules did allow the purchase of points. The case reached the U.S. District Court. Judge Kimber Wood ruled in Pepsi's favor. The commercial was clearly a joke, she said, and no reasonable person would
Go
believe
on
that a
with it,
military
Kimber.
jet would actually be offered.
The Kimber ruling.
Leonard appealed, but the decision was upheld in 2000. Leonard never got the jet, but the case became a landmark example in advertising law. It's still taught in law schools to illustrate contract information and the reasonable person standard. Pepsi later revised its commercials to make the jet unobtainable and added "just kidding" disclaimers. Pepsi made a joke. One kid took it seriously. Why not?
He became a little richer
Yeah.
off of it.
So
All's good.
for our good friend who'll call us on Thursday, I've got a question. Less filling or taste great?
Oh my.
The Miller commercial, like that. You know, football player. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it fill you up as much, or does it taste great, or is it both?
Can we just move on?
I love that story. You know what?
That was a good story.
I
yeah.
I don't remember the commercial. I remember the Pepsi stuff promo.
I remember
remember the
drinking
jet
Pepsi, but
I don't remember the jet being in it, but maybe I do.
I remember that.
I remember the caps and the points in it.
Yes,
I'm
I remember
like,
all
okay,
that.
I'm never going to collect them. So just
I never was one much to do that.
I did. There was one cap thing one time. I don't know who was doing it. It said, you can get, you find one that's got $25 or whatever on it. Oh, that's worth sitting in. But, most of them were a nickel or a dime.
Yeah.
You can't afford the postage because you know how ridiculous the postage is these days.
That was then. This is now. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah, and I agree. Postage.
Anyway, it's a great story. It is a great
lesson.
it's a great
Right.
lesson for advertisers.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you get out there and you offer something,
You better.
somebody might take you seriously.
Yeah.
And Mr. Maduro, when you're told what's going to happen, you might want to consider that to be a possibility next time.
Well,
If you ever get out.
the three of us were talking, and I mean, he probably got a good night's sleep the first night he was here in the U.S.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, he
I
was
think-
wishing everybody Happy New Year.
You think those inmates were
Oh,
Do
the
you
P.
the
Diddy.
jailers?
The P. Diddy reels that are coming out with him and Maduro. Oh, my gosh. I don't know who does this stuff, but it is just, like I said before, it's genius. Oh, my gosh. Laughing. To North Carolina, I told you I was going to follow this one case that broke. It was a murder case that broke over the weekend of a Raleigh school teacher that was killed during a home invasion.
Yep.
And she was actually on the phone with 911 when this man killed her. And he did go to court yesterday morning for her first hearing. His name was. He killed Zoe Welsh. She was the teacher right there in Raleigh. And
Did
his
you give a
name,
reason?
no, not yet, but his name is Ryan Camacho. But anyway, he went to court yesterday and he is under no bail. But listen to this. He was just released from jail a month ago after Wake County dismissed misdemeanor charges against him, saying he was found incapable of proceeding. He was charged with larceny, breaking and entering, and injury to real property back in August. Camacho spent more than 120 days in jail before those charges were dropped. So that was very recent. District Attorney Lauren Freeman told CBS 17 the court heard testimony from an evaluator who presented information from a family member of Camacho as well as previous jail records. Freeman said that while he was not capable of proceeding with those charges, an effort was made to get him involuntarily committed. And the state law in North Carolina for involuntary commitment is that you have to be a danger to yourself or others, and the evidence that's available at that point in time is what the judge can rely on.
He's proved them wrong.
Yes. Anyway, yes, he did his first appearance in court yesterday, and he is jailed right now.
I would bypass the involuntary commitment thing these days, and I'd commit him, and it will be involuntarily, but it will not be for mental treatment. I don't really care now.
Yeah, January 26th is his next appearance. It's supposed to be his trial date, but I'm sure that there'll be so many delays on it, it won't go right away.
He's going to work out a plea deal.
Keeping an eye on this one. I want to know why.
Well, I'm curious.
I think he targeted her.
I'm curious why the young man decided to throw rocks through the vice
I
president's
have it right
windows.
Here, look. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. William DeFore, 26, was charged with one count of each of obstructing official business, criminal damaging, or endangering, criminal trespass, vandalism in relation to throwing rocks through J.D. Vance's windows at his home. How did he get that close is what I want to know.
Well, it's his home in Cincinnati.
Still,
but
how did he get that close?
They don't have the same security there.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I bet they do now.
They don't have, standing out front. No,
I bet he's got security out there now. J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance might find an M16 that he brought back from somewhere.
Well, I think one of the things I know
was public affairs, wasn't
He
it?
was a kid.
Oh, I know. He's the kid of a very wealthy doctor
How
who's a
old was
Democratic
he?
donor.
How old is he?
26.
He's not a kid.
26. Look at him.
He's a rugrat.
Look at him. He looks like a kid.
26.
Yeah, if you look at him,
He looks like a kid.
A kid, but I
He's
think
deformed.
26-year-old is not grown up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's like J.D. Vance asked the media to try not to show a lot of pictures of the inside of his house.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but the media
Did it anyway.
Yeah. He's just vice president, you know.
I just cannot imagine being in that kind of the public's eye. We're not in the public's eye here. We kind of sort of are, but not like that. I hope we don't make people as mad as politicians make people.
Yeah.
But I know we have made a couple of politicians mad in the past, but that's all right. They'll get over it.
I almost sent you this story yesterday, but I know you don't have TikTok, and I'm not sure if you were on X. And if I sent you the clip.
You are sure that I'm not on X.
Yes.
Is
Anyway.
what you should be saying.
Anyway, a disturbing video came out yesterday that went viral, and it was taken at the Planet Fitness in the women's locker room restroom.
I didn't do it.
Over the weekend. This was
Here?
No, this is in California.
Oh.
That's just norm.
Yeah, in Planet Fitness in California, what happened is a male who identifies as a female had gone into the stall in the bathroom and he was masturbating himself.
Well, let's
Well,
switch,
a young woman came in and she was able to see what he was doing because with the lighting in the room, it was creating shadows on the floor.
Oh,
So, and there is actually a video.
shadow
out.
puppets.
Yes.
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
there was a puppet involved, but you know. So
You know,
he was
there is a
confronted.
place for pepper spray. That's one of them. Right over the
Yes.
Okay, so
Light up his light.
Oh yeah. You're hot. If you go onto X, you can see the video or onto.
I don't need to see it.
But I mean, you actually, it just the shadows. You see
How many
the
times
action.
did you look at this?
Only once. But no, but you have to.
You got it on your save file?
No, I don't. In fact, I had to look it up just to talk about it. But of course, the bathroom, the manager came in and various other people came in and they confronted the he/she as he was leaving the stall. And he's, of course,
How is it a he/she?
because it's a man who identifies as a
No, it
woman.
claims to be a woman.
It's a
That's not
he/she. It's a
he/she.
transgender.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just a claim.
And I'm not trying to be ugly towards transgenders, but went into the women's restroom to do this.
okay,
Could you imagine your young teenage daughter in there changing clothes, taking a shower? And you got this guy in the stall that's doing that?
well, that's why there's been a protest. There's a new sign that has been created for restrooms in public areas, and I guess a few years ago it was unisex.
Yes.
The one bathroom, but now it has a picture, the figure, whatever, this drawing of the man, the drawing of the woman, then a drawing of a half man, half woman.
What?
And when I say that, it's like the left half is man with like a straight leg, then the woman with a skirt on the right side, and then a baby.
I'm not even going to respond to any of this because
That's the new bathroom sign to cover all the.
Do you ever go into a?
I need a bandsaw is all I can tell you for people
You
like
go
that.
to a restaurant or a big store,
Right down the middle.
and you have to go to the bathroom, and you get back there, and you gotta
Figure out
which sign is yours.
Okay, when you go to the Outback, the Down Under restaurant.
Yes.
Which one do you go to?
Lassie's? No, that's not Australian. What is it?
Joey's
Joey's or
or
Johnny's. Joey's or what is the other? Gosh, I don't remember right now. Joey's or
Australian female. What do they? Sheila.
Sheila.
a Sheila.
I don't know what they put over in the restrooms here, but Sheila is sort of a bad female, like a hooker.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything. You're just reading into what I'm saying and reading something else into it.
I want to go to Australia one day.
I haven't.
I want to go one day.
I got your curiosity up there.
Yeah. I've got news for you.
What?
North Carolina voter registration statistics. The Republican Party has taken over as the lead political party in North Carolina.
Just short time.
Democrats 36,505 and Republican 38,111. Unaffiliated is still at 43,332.
Whoa.
You're not a political party.
Well, we still lead.
No, we're talking.
Yes,
I
we
said,
do.
see, I
We're-
got you
we-
this
we are
time.
the
I said political
We
party.
are the terrorists out there.
Is
So-
unaffiliated considered a political party? No. An unaffiliated voter, which I like this, and I agree with this. An unaffiliated voter is not considered a political party. Instead, they are individuals who do not formally align themselves with any political party during voter registration. The status is often referred to as a no party affiliation, or simply put, unaffiliated. And it allows the voters to express their political views without being tied to a specific party. Unaffiliated voters may choose to support candidates based on, I like this, individual issues rather than party loyalty, reflecting a desire for greater political independence.
We're independent.
See, while you're not considered
Political
a
independence
political
is becomes an
party,
independent.
I have to
Same
agree
thing.
with the basis and foundation for the unaffiliated.
What do we got tomorrow?
What do we got tomorrow?
I got
Well,
Dr.
we
Rose
have
and
Dr. Rose, which
And
we
she's going to be down in Oh, she's down in the
She's
Caribbean.
Yes,
she's where
yes.
we were going to
Remind
go
her.
before
You'll
the
be gone a
fall.
couple of weeks, huh?
Huh?
That's where we were going before the fall.
What is
you
January
changed?
12th?
We can't go now because we got to meet the surgeon on Thursday. So we'll be headed down to Punta Cana.
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
got to change that one.
Yeah.
Well, we have Dr. Rose for sure. I have talked to some other people. I talked to
An
the
idea.
Democratic chair of the Democratic Party here
You
in
stay
Onslow
here and
County
Robbie and I'll take your place.
about bringing in some of the Democrats running for local
Like a
office.
blast.
I've not heard anything back yet, but
I haven't been
She
to the
said
Dominican
thank you.
Republic. I've been to Haiti right next
she
door,
said
but
thank you.
I've not been to
So
the Dominican
we'll see
Republic.
if we can get somebody else on here.
Dr. Rose is not going to be here.
No,
should
she
be
will
calling
be
from
Oh, she's calling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
right.
Punta
calling.
Cana,
But
I
I'm
think,
not,
or somewhere in Dominican.
right. I've talked to another
Democrat.
candidate that's running for county commissioner that's on the Republican side. I think he'll be in
We have
sometime
an
next
appointment
week.
this morning, don't we?
Yes,
Okay.
and he'll be in sometime next week. And like I said, I talked to the chairman of the Democratic Party for here in Onslow and said we would love to have some of their candidates come in. So
And they
we're going to
said-
work that out.
And they said, we got candidates?
Yeah,
I'm
They do.
kidding.
they
I
do.
give everybody grief because you Republicans had a problem too. You had a Republican. You didn't know he was a Democrat till he told you later on
But
on the school board.
that's not what he said.
He was a Republican.
He was a I'm not going to go.
He was a Republican. And then he said, well, I'm really a Democrat. I just changed party
He
affiliation."
said all sorts of stuff all the time. He
He
one
was
day
one of my
he was
favorite
this.
candidates, to be honest with you.
He was very
think he-
controversial,
I think he
but
was
entertaining.
one of the most honest ones out there.
Yes, he
The
was.
reason he did everything.
He was very entertaining. You never knew day to day what he was going to come up with next.
Yeah,
We had many a discussion on the phone.
yeah.
And
we
I
did
said,
on the air. That
Why
was-
did
it
you
was
do
cool.
that?
Anytime I needed, something out there in La La Land, we talked because he and I
But
were
you're
both.
right. He was very honest.
He and I were both out there in La La Land, and he was honest. He will give you. He was not going to give you a political response.
He was extremely honest. Good morning, Mabuhay. Did I do it right?
Yeah. You did.
Hey,
Really?
good morning.
Did this person have purple hair?
At times,
Okay. No, I was just trying to make sure I was talking about.
Pink. It was pink.
Pink. It was a
Pink mohawk.
It was
Yeah.
a shade of purple,
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that, yeah.
Pink.
lavender.
He was always very, very entertaining.
The color was never in even the 48 color crayons.
Oh.
It was never in that box either. It was a cross between whatever. Okay, what else we got cooking
What
out
else
there?
we
It's,
got cooking? Yeah, we need to talk, Chris Miller. I need to find out some things that I've read recently about the ball game that occurred Saturday with the Tar Heels. If it's true, some of the officials.
the guy that was arrested for the vandalism.
Yes.
His name is Julia. That's what he calls himself.
Well, maybe that's why he looks like he's 14 then. He's a male identifying as a 14-year-old Julia.
Round
Is that
faced
his?
girl. That's what he looks like.
You know, we need to talk to Dr. Rose about the CDC cutting a lot of these vaccines too. I'm interested in hear her take on it.
Cut the vaccine.
Cut for children, in other words, like up to one time we were giving our children like 17 different vaccines through the ages, through periods of ages, and now they've cut it
That's
back
that
to
thing
about
that they
11.
always gave me before I got to school, that big old knot on.
And I've
Mhm.
lived this long. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
And then we've had
Phew,
cases of
that fast.
measles pop up in North Carolina. And of course, we still have the super flu going around. And
Yeah, the deaths are still continuing.
yes,
And
it's so sad.
That first
So
one here in
very,
Onslow
very
County.
Yes. Did you ever, did they say what age
No.
that person was?
No, but
I
the
don't know.
the
We need to get the health department.
medical
in here.
person from the health department
Mhm.
didn't say that
That
the very
gentleman.
young,
Uh-huh.
the very old, but
Yes.
anybody in between can also.
Yep. It's,
suffer.
if you're weak, especially, and you're not taking care of
Autoimmune,
yourself,
right.
and you're down or whatever, or if you have a cold or whatever, you can be you're susceptible to getting
Mhm.
and not being able to battle this particular strain.
Yeah.
Very well. Hilton Hotels investigating an
yeah.
independently owned Minneapolis area property after the Department of Homeland Security
Mhm.
claimed that law enforcement officers were refused service. You know what?
claims?
If I
Do
was,
we know?
if I was a hotel or a restaurant and I did something to a group of cops, I'd be really, really worried. That would not be good. They refuse service. There have been like restaurants that would spit in the foods of cops at drive-throughs and stuff like that. And you get all sorts of crazy people out there doing things. That's dangerous.
Mhm.
Because,
Wow.
that's just not good. Because
No.
if you're not doing things exactly by the book,
All right, Harold Jones
you might
spokesman
be picked for
clarified
intense investigation.
that the hotel in question is
Independent.
independently owned and operated, and that the
But it's-
actions do not reflect their values. They are currently investigating the matter and have apologized for the incident. Because the reason why I looked at it, I've already seen stuff on Facebook this morning about boycotting the Hilton.
Oh, no. That's not the one thing.
Boycotting the Hilton.
Pick your targets. I don't care what it is. This shotgun tactic about just shooting into crowds or shooting at widespread everybody out there like that. No,
Exactly.
pick your target. If you got a problem with an individual or an organization, go after that individual or that organization.
Yeah.
Don't come out there and shoot at you two people because you hate me.
I once was on that bandwagon when we when the nation people, like Nike, when we boycotted Nike, and I jumped on that bandwagon. I had this beautiful pair of Nikes sitting in the closet I passed by every day going like,
I'm not going to
God, these are so pretty. And finally, I came to a realization, the only person I was hurting boycotting Nike was me. $100 pair of Nikes sitting in the closet that I was passing by every day. I mean,
smart, did it?
There are certain stores that I didn't like. Target at the time. Target was such a big. Remember all the Target drama, and I was like, I'm not going to Target. I go to Target.
I don't. That's nothing in there for me. I don't
go-
nothing against them. I
Very seldom. The only time I go is when my sister wants to go. She likes Target, and I meet her there. We have a coffee at Starbucks, and we walk around the store.
They got mad at me when I went in there first
Why?
time.
You didn't buy nothing?
No. They got this Target outside. I just took it. That's a Target, so I just opened fire on it. What? Okay, you're live and local, folks.
That's to gather the birds in the parking
We're
lot.
not totally right around here, so
Never right.
we'll be back tomorrow if the creeks don't rise.
And happy birthday, Zoe.
Zoe,
Happy birthday,
you're
Zoe.
15. My God, girl.
All grown up.
My God, 15.
She's our girl.
She's our little.
Yeah.
She's sharp.
She's just
Have a
she's
great
sharp
day
as she
today,
can be.
Zoe.
Have a good one. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Have a blessed day.
You're live and local Real Talk, where we're awake, never woke, never will be. Bye. Stay safe.